Welcome you and all to another episode of the Global Latin Factor podcast, where we talk about Latino everything. I'm your host, Crispin Valentin. Make sure you subscribe to the channel right now. Why? You got so much content to gain. And today, it's a very different episode. As you can tell, we are in location. We at the Kava Bar Oakcliff. Very particular place for us, very special place for us. We come here often to do different things. When we're not doing the podcast, either we're hanging out or recording or plotting something that we're going to be doing the podcast. So today's episode is what we're going to be calling the State of the Podcast 2026. About a year ago, so you saw one that we did. We created an episode. The idea came from something that I saw at the Chamber of Commerce, the Forward Chamber of Commerce. They did a State of the podcast, State of the Chamber, and I thought that would be a great idea to do something like that to bring awareness of the things that we have done. Our anniversary for the podcast is technically May 5th. However, we celebrated, and that day for me, it's more of a day of celebration. It's more of a day to invite everybody, make feel special of a year that we accomplished another one. Now, the state of the podcast 2026 is more of giving you a little more insight, details, a few numbers, and things that we actually have touched up and kind of learned throughout this journey of the podcast. Because one of the main things, not only to highlight Latinos, to bring amazing content to you, to bring real life stories. Another part of the podcast part was to be able to learn also ourselves about things that other people do and help us. So let's get started. So let's touch up on some numbers that we did. So from November of last year to November of this year, we're grown tremendously. It might not seem like it sometimes for myself, but it is. So we're talking about 8,600 downloads just for the year itself. Over 90,000 views in YouTube, 1,500 hours on Facebook, 300 subscribers that we grew, and 600K impressions. And Instagram, we're approaching 1,500 followers. TikTok, 5,000 followers, and so many likes, over 70,000 likes. And Facebook followers, we're approaching 1K, and 30,000 technically downloads on the audio part. So Apple Podcasts, Spotify, you name it, all you that listen to those platforms that run into our people that see the sticker and say, you know who they are. Those are the ones we're talking about. That sometimes just listen to the audio portion. So we highly, highly appreciate you. We don't realize sometimes the impact that we're making. And sometimes I try to compare to other bigger ones and other things we're doing. But technically, the crew itself for the Global Latin Factor is myself and Bree, Rebel Media. That's the only people that incorporate. So that's the team, even though it seems like a bigger operation. So we figure a way to do it. And sometimes we're really still from the last. If you want to learn more about the history of how the podcast began, go check out the State of the Podcast, the very first one we did last year, and you'll be able to kind of sort of get the history of how it got started, learn a little bit more about it. But at that time, Carlos was with me, and we were still doing the Latino way of being very creative when it comes to making it work. And the same thing with Bree. She's amazing, but at the same time, we still work with very minimal things to be able to make amazing things happen and pivot and just work around things to make sure that we get another amazing episode to you, because it's super important for us to show representation, show the things that we've been continuing to do as a community of Latinos here in the United States that are continually to contribute. And it's amazing. Another thing that we have learned about all of our guests that we have, there is a lot of resilience. So if you notice all across what we are as Latinos across all the countries, is that we're very resilient. Not only that, but we're very faith and family centered. So a lot of the individuals that stop by share the story about personal growth, religious growth, and different things. And this is all what incorporates us. And we've learned reinvention. Some of them started from doing this to going in this direction. All of a sudden, their story now changed, and now they're going this direction. They get into this field and becoming a different person than they were before. And even within the podcasts themselves, after they leave, I've seen the things that they go and do, and it's amazing to be able to see amazing individuals, amazing humans just striving for more. And then not only that, but the growth that they do after they leave. I'm not saying this because of our podcast, but because they put themselves in an uncomfortable situation to be able to, some of them never been interviewed, to later on be interviewed on TV and different things like that. To me, it's just amazing of the things that we get them to see and the reinvention that they do for themselves. Identity, so all of us, the question itself that I posed, what does Latino mean to you? A lot of the times it's on purpose for the sake of understanding that the work so profound, so deep, that it's not just a one single thing, size fits all type of situation. What it entails is to be able to, the word itself is so vast that it really, really identifies who we are. So many things, from so many colors to so many, even the slang itself is different in different cultures in the Latino community. So it's amazing. And our work ethic. A lot of our guests talked about how the inspiration they get now and the work ethic comes from their father, comes from their mother, comes from this, comes from that. That they work so many jobs, sometimes 2 or 3 jobs to put them to school, or so many jobs, 2 or 3 to raise their kids. And it's inspiring to them, and that's the reason they do it. We've seen it with Vicky. Vicky got a lot of inspiration for the things that her mom and her dad used to do. We also have Courtney Jordan that, she's seen her grandparents and the way that it worked to influence her a lot on the things that she does now with mental health and her journal. So many guests that, and of course, a lot of our guests do give back. Example is Rosa. The law officer Rosa Maria Verdejas. Rosie's amazing. Not only does she always out in the community helping out, but she is always giving back as well. You see some of the things that you see on social media. It's just a minimal things of the things that she does that I've seen on the back as far as her contributions to society. So it's a lot about giving back. There's a lot more of our guests that are giving back to the community and continue to give back because it's part of the things that we do as well. Another lesson, big lesson that we learned is representation opens minds, mental doors, literally. You have to almost see somebody do the things that you want to do in order for you to be able to be somebody that wants to do that as well. And that's some of the things that are super important lessons we learned on the podcast as well. Healing is a huge part of our community. We've seen it with Dr. Norma Garcia. We've seen it with Courtney. We've seen it with other people that are advocating for mental, and Jesse as well. So that's another thing that is part of our culture right now that we are working on to be able to be better off mental health wise. Culture. Our culture is our superpower. The things that we have is our superpower. I will touch up on a little bit of the things that I always reference to different people of the things that we contribute, that without that, this entire world would not be the way that it is now. And again, once again, when people are seen, they open deeply about what they got going on and how impactful can they be for other people. So they really open up to our community to be able to talk more about their story and have other people see it so they can go ahead and continue moving forward and elevate our culture. Okay, so let's talk about the evolution of the podcast. So we started with very humble beginnings. So if you remember the very first one, the very first state of the podcast, we started just with the homies and just kind of sort of trying to put something together, and turned out that we could talk for a long time. But now we talking about not really a fancy setup as well. And again, we're still working with minimal, very resourceful. What's what we do, and slowly started growing, incorporating a brand new camera that we got today that I'm super excited about. And then we're going to be incorporating into everything that we do. Not only that, but we're slowly being recognized as one of the podcasts here in the community in the DFW area. It's the one that people want to be in, people want to go for it. A lot of times when you saw the solo episodes, because we didn't have somebody, because somebody wasn't able to make it. Now it's hardly that case that happens, that we have plenty of people that we can talk to, that they want to share the story because they see all the work that we're doing. And literally, we started from the homies to now attorneys, PhDs, licensed therapists, founders and CEOs, influencers, creators, doctors, health experts, award-winning entrepreneurs, nonprofit leaders, artists, chefs, all those people that I wanted to show great examples. That's who we get to talk to now. And it's amazing that they're here to be able to want to share the story. Remember what I said earlier, it's just being seen. They can go deeper of their story. And a lot of the times that's the intention. Like if you are, if you're going through something hard or if you come out of something hard, I don't want you to expose yourself for that. I want you to tell people how was it or what tools did you use to be able to get yourself out of it and be somebody that people can look for whenever they go into the same situation and get out of it and be in a better place. Now, some of the Latino contributions that I keep at it, and remember that this world would not be the world that it is if it wasn't for the things that it came from the Americas. We're talking about cacao, tomatoes. Italian food wouldn't be Italian food that it is. Potatoes literally saved Europe from famine. Vanilla. We're talking about chile. We're talking about squash, beans, yuca. All those amazing foods. Literally the menu of the world would not exist if it wasn't for the things that we, the Americas, the people contribute, just like the contribution of our Latino individuals that come here on the podcast and share their story. It wouldn't be the same. Color TV, co-creator of the Color TV, was Mexican. And so many more that we're going to be talking about as far as going forward, the influence. Literally today, you probably heard some kind of Latino type music. And that's the reason that I'm talking about the global Latin factor. We're only contributing, we're not going anywhere, and we will continue to show amazing representation. Now, some of the major impacts that we have also, we have data to back it up. So literally, $1.3 trillion is the buying power of the Latinos. $3.4 trillion. $3.4 trillion of the buying power of the Latinos, not to mention, in general, what we contribute in taxes, over 120 million in taxes yearly. And that's just the people that are like documented. That's not the undocumented that also contribute to taxation and everything else. So again, we are doing amazing work. We're doing amazing things, so we contribute to amazing. Another thing that I want to touch up also in regards to the economy is 68% of the new workforce is Latino. 68% of Latino. So we always have a concern about what's going to happen with the certain generation demographic boomers are gone. Well, guess what? Over the past decade, 68% of Avid Latinos that are contributing to the economy. And again, we pay more than our share amount of taxes. And if the Latino generation themselves were a country, we will be the fifth biggest economy, topping Brazil, India, France, and UK. So literally, if all of us Latinos became a country today, we'll be number 5 in regards to the world and what we are as far as the GDP and everything else and all the big fancy numbers that people like to throw on. Home ownership, we are quickly becoming some of the force to reckon with in regards to home ownership. Latinos, 70% of Latinos home ownership grew over the past decade. It's projected to increase by 2040. That's only 4 years away. The entrepreneurship, three out of whatever it is, 3 out of any other, we are literally creating jobs, being entrepreneurs. 3 out of whatever ethnicity there is, Latinos are 3 of that particular one contributing to the economy in regards to entrepreneurship. We really are creating jobs. We really are moving the market. We really are innovating new industries. We really are doing everything that we said we're doing, and we are highlighting it here on the podcast as of right now. Another thing that we're doing here on the podcast that might be taken for granted is what we're really doing. We are sharing stories. We are of future generations that they can see and get inspired from the things that we're doing today. We're literally are changing the stereotypes. So people are saying that this kind of people and you that kind of people. We are changing that narrative because we're showing you amazing examples of amazing people doing things. We're literally highlighting nations and different things in regards to the things that we do for us. We are inspiring young Latinos, dreamers, to be able to dream even bigger. We are more than a monolith, with bigger than that. We are continuing to improve ourselves every single day. As I mentioned, with the entrepreneurs, are creating more jobs, and we unite countries, we unite other people to collaborate, we unite identities to be able to tell other people that we are a bigger deal. We are a big deal. We have continued to be a bigger deal with education, with celebrating everything that we do, and continue to move forward our community that we call Latinos here in the world. We want to take a few seconds to say thank you so much for the Kava Bar, all the Kava Bars in general throughout the DFW for opening up their doors to be able to have us not only work here, do episodes here, have events here, work on editing and different things that we have. We mastermind some stuff here at the Kava Bar as far as the things that we do. We also want to give a big shout out to the Fort Worth Hispanic Chamber of Commerce in Fort Worth. They opened up the doors to be able to talk to a lot of their entrepreneurs. They're very supportive, a great tool, and I highly recommend if you check them out. If you have not checked out the Fort Worth Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, they're amazing people, and shout out to them. And also Los Primos, they open up their doors to be able to be part of their career fair, and we'll be able to be there and talk to the kids, do an improv episode. So that's some of the locations that we've been to. And guess what? In 2026, we're going further away, whether we out of state or maybe in another country. We don't know where it's going to take us, but I guarantee it's going to be amazing, and you're going to be right there on the journey to be able to be part of this. So thank you so much.